All right, guys, it's Wednesday. So I've swapped seats. I normally do Friday, but between Good Friday, Easter, everything come up, we decided to move mine on Wednesday. So I will be here live tomorrow with Zachary to do our one-on-one lives. And today is a really, really important live stream. It's about the 7 objections you're going to deal with your sellers in regards to wholesaling. And I tell you, man, I got a ton of experience doing this. I still deal with it every day. And I boiled it down to basically 7 objections. Some people say there's only 5. I'm going to give you the whole breakdown on it, what they are, and how to overcome them. So the really cool thing is this is all recorded. So if you want to take notes while you're doing it, I'm going to start out doing a slide presentation and it's taking me about 15, 20 minutes, and we'll go through it, and then we're going to do interaction. So I am going to attempt to do the live one-on-one masterminds with you. So if you guys have done it before, go to I'm sorry, I cleared my throat. If you go to Wholesaling Houses for Real, our Facebook group, the largest, most active group of wholesale investors, and you make sure you're registered there. You're subscribed to our YouTube channel, and it'll give you access right there. And if you wait patiently in line, whoever comes there, you're going to get a free one-on-one. And why not? We're talking about objections today. Guys, I have nothing to sell you. This is 100% free, and I want to help you out. And also, guys, use the chat. Tell me what market you're in. Tell me what you're up to. And feel free to work amongst everybody in the chats. I feel a little bit out of place on Wednesday, but we are going to make this work. Because honestly, if it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, it's all a great day to me. I really don't care what day of the week is. If you live for Fridays, you better watch this channel because it means you're doing things wrong. You should live life every day like it's on a vacation. You shouldn't start on Friday and end it on Sunday. I tried that for 12 years. It doesn't work. So we're going to have fun with this. So I got to make sure I get some people want to do some one-on-ones. I would love to do any type of role playing you guys want to do. One of my favorite things to do. But honestly, if you have a challenge in your business and you want some help, let me use my 20 years experience. And as always, everything on here is 100% free. So if you guys are new to this channel, my name is Rick, AKA Dad. My son, Zach, and we run a 7-figure wholesaling business. And what we are doing, we're not even trying, we're actually doing it, is to bring you as much information on wholesaling as possible. I think it's like learning your ABCs. I'm tired of people teaching wholesaling like they did 20 years ago. And right now we teach this particular niche 100% free. So if you guys go over, if you're new here, check us out on freewholesaling.com. And do me a favor, guys. Make sure you smash that like button, because the more likes we get, the more people will connect with this channel, and it helps out everybody. So they say, hey, Rick, why are you doing this? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm doing this to create a legacy. I want to help out as many people as humanly possible. And that's why you're tuning in here. And I love doing this business. I've been doing it 20 years and I'm not going anywhere. And you guys know my son's involved into it. So make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we'll notify you every time we go live. Yes, we are live right now. It is April 13th. It's 5:04 p.m. Eastern time. So if you want to ask on that. So I see people getting in line on the lives. That's awesome. Let's see what else we got here. So if you want to get on with the live, do me a favor. There is in the comment section. Let's see here. There is a link posted to the top. If you follow those instructions, I promise you can get in. So before we get started, we got to pick this up a little bit. I got some snowy mountains behind me. Don't worry. Florida didn't get mountains. I just like a change of scenery. And how can you not like a background like that? So I thought it was kind of cool. And the idea is we got to make this fun and teach you at the same time, which is always a challenge. And that's why we try to keep it fun here. And you guys know where I'm going with this. If you are doing wholesaling and you're not having a good time doing it, you're doing it wrong. So as a requirement to work with Zach and Rick, you got to find the energy level. You got to have fun with people because life is short. And if you can't have a good time while you're helping others, making a ton of money, then don't do it. Guys, let's get going.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, and then they got go on. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up. Get up.
I love that video. So that's the rules here. You got to have fun. We got to have a good time. And then everybody contributes. When you guys come on the one-on-ones, like, bring it. I want to help you. I'm not here to judge you. And the reason we do it in this type of format is because if you have the question, it means there's probably 100 other people behind you who have the exact same question. So to help out the community, help out everybody at Flip with Rick, wholesaling houses for real. I don't care if you're on YouTube, you're on Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, we're here to help. So I will get to the point, and because I don't take any of your money, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. And sometimes we just have to be honest with people to help them move forward. And you guys can relate. Sometimes that's painful, but that's what has to happen in wholesaling. And I'm here to help you out today. So you can call me Uncle Rick, like whatever you want to do. And we'll go from there. So without further ado, guys, put in your comments if you have any questions. I'll help out with people commenting online, and then we'll do the lives. And I try to take everybody in order they come in. So you guys know I'm not the technology wizard. I'm not as fast as Zach is at this. So if I screw it up, give me a little bit of slack, but we'll make it work. Let me make sure. Okay, we're having some mic difficulty. Hold on one second. Okay, guys, confirm you can hear me okay. I got a message. I just want to confirm that everybody can hear me. Everybody can hear me. Just give me a thumbs up. Just give me I can hear you, Rick. And I want to make sure nobody misses out on anything. So thanks, Zach. Zach says unplug and plug the mic in. I did it. So guys, give me a comment if you can hear me, and I will go ahead and get started here. Okay, cool. So I'm going to take about 15, 20 minutes. We're going to go through this, and then I'll take the one-on-ones, and then we'll do the comments, and we will open it up to anything wholesaling. So I'm going to be here for 2 hours. So I'm not going anywhere. So if you guys are waiting on it, I see Chris, I see Eric, just hold tight. I'll be there. I promise you. And we will get going here. So let me add this to the stream. So guys, just say this. I got 20 years experience. There's not an objection I have never, ever heard. They all wind up falling in one of these classifications. And once you understand the objection and you hear it over and over, it becomes much, much easier to deal with it. Now, I want you guys to understand this is you have to, although they all fall in the same categories, people react to them differently. And it's important you understand that, because some people are very aggressive in their nature and some people are laid back and they won't give you any information. And honestly, that's the frustrating part about objections. It's never the objection. Quite honestly, the objection is the easiest part. It's how they handle the information. So I've had sellers storm out and react when I try to handle objection. And unfortunately, I had to learn trial by error. And I want you guys to learn from my mistakes. Now, full disclaimer, you'll never, ever handle and overcome every objection. It's physically impossible. That's just how life works. So if you're okay with that, get over it. It's just like when people say no to you, it's no. The whole point of dealing with objections, the bottom line is your sellers just need more information to make a decision. And by the way, when someone gives you a flat out no, most of the time they're doing you a favor. Okay. Sometimes no means I don't understand what you're doing and you haven't really helped me out at all. And that's fine too. But at the end of the day, we want people to make yes and no decisions because there's finality to it and you can move on with your life. If you've ever followed up with a seller for months on end, I've done it for years on end, and they never give you quite a clear cut, maybe I'm thinking about it, Rick. I rather you just say no, just spit it out. So sometimes when I get in a long follow-up with people, I will put them in a corner to try to get a decision at them, because sometimes it takes people being boxed in a corner to make a decision to move on. The reality is, do I want to spend another 30 hours? Are they just kicking my tires, or they have a legitimate excuse? And so we're going to work on those objections today. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Let me figure out how to work this thing. Okay, I got it. So we're going to break down. I have basically 7 classifications for objections. Over my 20 years career, I started out with the 5. There's always 5 major ones, and we've kind of blended in like some off ones that come up a lot in our business. So guys, remember, we run a 7-figure wholesaling operation, and we hear the objections every day. I hear them, Zach hears them. We hear them from our staff, our acquisitions people, and I want you to understand them. So let's get started. We're going to work our way backwards. To be honest with you, these are in order, but like depending on your experience level and how much marketing you've done, they could be in backwards order. So number 1, questioning. Okay. And this isn't actually an objection. It's a strategy, but my God, does it come up on like every deal we do. So I want you to understand this. Questioning means you're engaging a prospect, you're qualifying them, and they start just yanking you all over the place. Hey, Rick, what's the price? Hey, Rick, how quick can you close? Hey, Rick, how do I know you're legit? Hey, Rick, what's your experience level? How old are you? What's your wife's name? Do your children go to local schools? I don't know. And so when somebody starts doing it, it always starts off with just like this. Who are you? What do you want? How fast are you going to close? You guys kind of getting the feel for this? This is what I mean by the questioning. So it's just back-to-back questioning, and it just gets painful. And I want you to understand, if you have this going on, you have to stop it right away. You have to take away the pounding on it. Okay. How do we do that, Rick? It's real simple. You have to check them. And when I say check them, you have to stop what I call it harassment. Zach calls it questioning, but it means they want to control the conversation and they want you just to be an order taker. If you go down this rabbit hole, I guarantee you will never get a deal, because if you don't hit all their boxes, they're just going to like write you off right away. So if they go, hey, Rick, who are you? Where do you come from? How do I know you're legit? How fast are you going to close? What's your mom's maiden name? Where do your kids go to school? I go, listen. Hey, John, I get it. You need questions and you're looking for answers from me. For me to be effective in this situation, I need to have the ability to ask you some key questions, to gather some information so I can structure the best offer for you. Will you give me a chance to do that, John? And just shut up. Okay. Basically, you're telling John nicely, stop harassing me and let me help you out. Now, occasionally they will not let you. No, just give me the price. Wait a minute, John. If I can't ask you some basic questions about your situation, I'm not sure I can help you out. Will you please give me permission to let me ask you some questions so I can really help you out? And I promise at the end, you can make a decision if I'm the right fit for you, if you want to move on with your life. But either way, I'm here to help you out. I don't care how long it takes. And it's simple as that. The minute you start answering their line of questioning, you are not in control anymore and you're going to get run over. And guys, take it out of real estate. Have you ever gone to a clothes store and you go in there and go, listen, I don't know. I need a size 34 pants, 34 waist, 32 length, and it needs this type of cut. It's gotta be this type of jean. And so that doesn't mean anything. It's like an order taker. You're better off having the salesperson go, okay, what do you like to do? Like, what kind of clubs you like to hang out? What are you trying to accomplish here? and go, I got some things that'll fit. Hey, what are your sizes real quick while I do it through there? So you need more than just raw data. You need the emotions behind the data. And the problem, if they're asking you all the questions, I get it, Rick. They're supposed to talk 75, 80% of the time. You don't need this. This is not the way you get the information. It's backwards. And if you take this technique and you buy into it, I guarantee you'll get run under the bus. Ask me how I know this. For the first year, I sat there and was an order taker because I didn't know how to do this business. So I'm telling you, take control, because this is the point where you're talking 25% where it needs to count. Okay. I don't need them questioning me because it's just a waste of information. Okay. And then we're going to answer their questions in the entire presentation. So that's questioning. So you got to take control. Next one, the attorney. You guys tell me every day, everybody wants to talk about their attorney. I need to review it with my attorney. I'm telling you right now, it's 50-50 if they even ever send it to an attorney. Most of the time, this is a tactic used to kind of like see if you're legit. You know what I'm saying? Like, is this guy for real? You can call it a scare tactic, but like, honestly, lawyers shouldn't scare you. Like 50% of lawyers are wrong every day. I don't even care. I'm not crazy about the lawyer thing, but like, you have to deal with it and you have to know how to answer it. The worst way you can answer this, say, hey, Rick, listen, I like what you're saying. Everything sounds good. I just need to run it by my lawyer. The worst response I can say is absolutely not. I'm not going to allow that. You know why? Because you're instantly turning him off, him or her. It doesn't matter, guys or gals, whatever it is. It looks like I'm like doing something sketchy if I deny the lawyer. Now, there's techniques I'm going to share with you to protect yourself, because once you give it to the lawyer, then they're looking for the consent of that lawyer. And lawyers are not, I'm just going to tell you straight up front, lawyers are not crazy about wholesalers or any type of real estate investors. Okay? They just don't like it because they feel like we kind of play pseudo lawyer, and we do sometimes. And a lot of times it's really hard to get their attention. So I'm going to share some tactics with you here. If they want to review it with the attorney, one of the strategies we do is we put the seller's name and the buyer's name on it, or sometimes we don't, and we just give them a template of the contract. Why? Because it's just about the language. If we agreed on the price and the terms, I don't need permission from the lawyer to do that. So, and I say, listen, if you're okay with $150,000, close it in 30 days. I'll pay for the closing cost. You pay whatever liens are on the property. You told me there's no liens or nothing, so that shouldn't be an issue. And we close it over at my title company. It's all good to go. So they go, hey, Rick, you just sent me over a blank contract. Yeah, but that's it. He needs to look at the language. We've already agreed to the terms. So if you're good with the terms and I'm good with the terms, then you just want to make sure the contract's legit. I'm fine with it. So it doesn't always work. I'm just going to tell you, but I always do this first. And then you can tell. So sometimes I'll tell the seller, he goes, well, he said it's blank. I go, well, you guys already know what the terms are. If you're ready to get a signature, I'll fill it out and I can do a DocuSign, or I'll come by this afternoon and we'll get it inked in there. And the problem is if you give them your full contract, a lot of times it'll sit on the lawyer's desk for weeks. And that's the problem. You got to get their attention. You do not just want to throw your contracts out there. Guys, full disclosure, I've had lawyers compete with me with sellers to buy their properties. Lawyers know if the contract's not signed, it's wide open. And remember, the contract has to be signed on both sides. So giving the blank one, like usually, it's actually brilliant. It works very, very well. Okay. What else on the attorney? The one thing I do not negotiate with an attorney is who the title company is. They can call, they can verify their license, their information. Guys, do not waver on who the title company is. It's always a problem when you give up your title company. Please make sure your title company is the one thing that's really non-negotiable. So try that strategy. Worst case scenario, you can send the contract over, but you better make sure you have like a 24 or 48 hour expiration period. And by the way, the only thing I ever want the lawyer to do to my contract, if he wants some sort of language in the contract, as long as it doesn't change the terms on it, I don't care. Remember, guys, when you write a contract, you can't have a one-sided contract. That's what ticks lawyers off the most. If you guys are going to send a contract to a lawyer, if you can use your state-approved realtor and bar association contract, and all states agree to them, lawyers look like they go, okay, well, that looks normal. So whenever I have a probate, I always send those contracts because more than half of them get reviewed by an attorney. I am not going to send a one-page contract to an attorney. You're almost guaranteeing it's going to be shipped, kicked out the door. So, guys, the reality is sometimes, ready for this, these sellers get your contract, they never give it an attorney, and they use it as trade bait to get a higher offer. And I've been in that situation a million times. The once you give your contract in writing without their signature on it, it's 9 times out of 10, it's used as leverage against you. So you're not always getting, by the way, the attorney objection, a lot of times it's not even the truth. Some people think their friends and their attorneys, their friends and their neighbors are attorneys, and when in fact, they're not. So another strategy you can do is like, hey, go ahead and give me your lawyer's name and his contact information. I'll just send it right over to him. If they don't give you that information, they're 100% lying to you. Very few people in the United States, regular people, have an attorney on standby on a retainer. It just rarely works that way, especially on lower end property. So let's move on to number 5, the maybe. This one, I got to be honest with you, this is the one that kills me. This is the one that will take you out as a wholesaler 100% of the time. I've had moments in my career where I'm like, if I get one more maybe, I'm going to walk away. Thank God I didn't walk away from the business. But this is the one that's just hard because nobody gives you information. Maybe. Have you ever been a maybe? It's like if you ever ask a date to the prom, a guy or girl, I don't care who you are, how would you feel if they answered you maybe? Like your self-confidence goes in the gutter. It's terrible. Is that a yes or is that a no? It's like, I don't want to commit, but I want to keep you on the hook forever. And that's what maybe means. I hate maybe. I never accept maybe as an answer. You should never tolerate maybe. Maybe means, I don't know. I need more information. And you're going to have to basically keep going in and finding out what's their objection. Maybe actually is not an objection. It's an excuse. It's an excuse, guys. You have to translate what maybe means. What information are you missing so you can make a decision on this? And you have to spoon feed it. And that's why you always have to be in control of answering questions. Guys, here's a really cool thing. Maybe is 100% avoidable. What do I mean by that? If you guys will take the time, go to free. Let me fix this over here. Banner's kind of annoying me. If you guys go over to freewholesaling.com, check out our course there, and we teach you actually how to do the conditioning. So I'm going to show you in this live how to do it. I'm going to give you the exact verbiage, and I learned this the hard way. So to avoid the maybe, you have to precondition all your sellers. And here's all I mean. You meet with the seller the first time. They're excited. They're probably a little bit nervous. You're probably like, if you were like me, your first year, like, oh my God, like I don't even belong here. What am I doing? This is crazy. Maybe I should just go back home and play video games. No, you stepped up. You took action. You want to help your family. You want to be free. You got to move through this. So the first thing you're going to say is after you meet them, maybe they show you the house a little bit. You build a little rapport, and you're going to make a decision at that point. You go, listen, Mr. Seller, I really appreciate you taking the time to meet with me today. I know this is a hard decision, and I want to help you out and make this an incredible experience for you and your family. So at the end of our conversation today, we'll probably take about 30 to 45 minutes, maybe a little bit longer because I like you a lot. And at the end of it, you'll have a decision to make. You're either going to decide, I love working with you, Rick. You're amazing. You are the best fit for this property, and I want to do business with you. Or maybe I'm just not a good fit for you, and you're going to tell me no, and we will part as friends. I'll shake your hand, and I'll still help you sell your house. If I can get an agreement on you that you're okay with this, and you agree to make a decision of yes or no at the end of our conversation, are you open to agreeing to that statement? And you just shut up. And sometimes they will struggle like giving you a decision. Why am I doing this? Because later down the road, when they tell me maybe, I'm going to go back to this anchor statement and remind them about our upfront agreement. And if they agree to it, then you can guilt them into giving you a decision. Now, sometimes they still give you a maybe. I get it. It's not a guarantee. But if you go back, this is like using the volley technique. John goes, listen, Rick, I don't know, maybe. I got to think about it. I'm just not sure. Hey, John, great. I feel like maybe we're missing some information here and there's something holding you back. And I want to help you out. Remember, we talked about when I first met you that I agreed that we would make a decision together. I would make a commitment and you can make a commitment to move forward or step back. What information are you missing that's making you struggle with the decision? And let me see if I can help explain or shed more light on it to make you feel more comfortable. That way you can make a decision of yes or no. And guys, it's that simple. If you precondition them, the maybe doesn't work very well. Okay. So it's like if you ever made a promise to someone and like you renege on it in front of them, it feels terrible. Like even if you're trying to you still feel terrible. Yes, it's a technique. It is a sales technique. But honestly, I don't want to go in there. If somebody tells me up front, hey, Rick, listen, I'm not going to make a decision at the end of this. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going into the presentation because they're just telling me I'm going to waste a ton of time and I'm never going to make a decision anyway. So you've got to avoid this at all costs. If you just precondition them, it's 100% avoidable. That's the really cool part about it. Okay, we're on time here. We'll keep going. Number 4, what's your offer? Like that's all they jump into it. Like they don't even do like the multiple question. Now, sometimes this is just a sub of like hard questioning, but a lot of times they're like, hey, listen, Rick, what's your offer? Just give me your offer. Like they just want to cut to the chase. And honestly, sometimes I'm like that too. When they do that, it means they're not valuing the service you're offering and they could care less about you. And honestly, if you take the bait on this one, you are nothing more than an order taker. Guys, we never want to win on price. It's just not going to, I don't want to pay the most. And I know that. So the only way I'm going to get it for a discount is I'm going to have to solve problems for the seller and overcome their objections. If it's purely based on price, just go to MLS because I don't want to be the highest bidder on it. And I constantly tell my sellers, I'm probably not going to pay you the most, but I'm going to be your best buyer. And I stick to that. So the simple objection we do with this Zach kind of came up with this one more than I did is, he goes, listen, Rick, just give me your offer. Just throw me your offer right out there. I go, listen, seller, listen, would you buy a car without test driving it? Well, no, that's crazy. I would never do that. Okay. So for me to give you an educated offer and give you the best I can, I need to know a little bit more about that property. Can I ask you some questions to help figure out if this is going to be a good fit and make you a great offer? Oh yeah. Okay. Well, cool. Let me do that. So once again, you're pushing back on them saying, listen, slow down, cowboy. I got to ask a few questions and I want to make sure this is a good fit. So let me get that off of there. It's really that simple. So you're basically just say, hey, just let me finish it. I'm getting to that one. And guys, another one is, so Zach likes the car buying one. I have a strategy. I got to give you credit. I got it from a fellow wholesaler. So I do work with other people. I like to give them credit where credit's due. But a lot of times when they hit you like this, go, listen, Mr. Seller, let's see what the house can afford. And let me ask you a few questions, and then I can make you an offer that should make sense to you. Is that fair? Simple lines like that, guys. I want you to understand the objections. A lot of the objections are people pushing on you. Hey, Rick, give me this, give me this. I want you to think about, I have no problem with anybody who works at McDonald's, but a McDonald's person doesn't ask the quality of your hunger, what you prefer. They just say, give me the order you want. And now all McDonald's are having machines because that's all these people are doing is they're taking orders. Don't ever be an order taker. You're better than that. And if you get in this business being an order taker, you will get killed. Okay. A lot of realtors fall in this trap. You cannot fall in this trap in wholesaling because it's a dead end job, because you will never make a lot of money, because you're always going to take the lowest fruit with the least amount of work, and you're never going to get a great, you're never going to get a great deal on it. So, okay, let's keep moving on. It gets funner. Number 3, I need to speak to my wife. I need to speak to my husband. I mean, I actually, at this point, I've always accepted this one. Guys, once again, this is 100% avoidable if you do the work up front. So when you're qualifying your lead, you're asking the 4 pillar questions. You guys all know what they are: price, condition, motivation, and timeline. Is make sure you have the decision maker on the phone, or when you go on an appointment, you are meeting with the right people. There is nothing worse than spending 45 minutes, an hour. I've spent 3 hours with people to find out they're not the decision maker. So look on, if you guys use listrei.com, you can use that and you can verify who the decision maker is on it. That's what I like to do. It'll tell you who's on the deed. You can go to your county records. You don't always have to use, you can get this done for free, guys. And make sure, so if there's a husband and wife on there, ask, hey, is John going to be coming when I come by the house? Is he going to be present? Oh, no, John's not going to be there. Well, I think it'd be best to have John present. So what's a good time I can have you both together? There's nothing worse than presenting a deal twice. Here's the problem with it. One side, he or she will take your information, and then they'll pull out what they think is important to them, which usually isn't. And then they're going to communicate that to their spouse, their boyfriend, their girlfriend, their kids, whatever it is. And then someone's going to make a snap decision based on how they interpreted you. So if it didn't go well, you are going to get killed. Now, I've had husbands and wives. One loves it. The other one's like not okay with it. And then the idea is you to get them together to kind of work it out. And then you can gauge how much more time they need. But guys, 100% avoidable. Make sure that they are present. Time kills all deals. It doesn't matter the objection. If you cannot get that objection solved in 48 hours, your odds of getting a deal literally get wiped out by 50%. Okay. Most people don't need 2 days to make a decision if they want to sell a property. The reason they're not making that decision, either they're missing information or they're not ready to sell. End of story. Okay. After 2 days, 2 days quickly turns into 2 weeks. 2 weeks quickly turns into 2 months. Oh my God. It just drives me nuts when they do this. So make sure if you have a husband and wife and they're arguing a little bit about the process, she says, I love it. The husband goes, I'm not sure. Try to see what information they're missing. And just so like, well, Rick, how do I ask this? Hey, John, what is it that's making you uncomfortable about this? Just hit him in the gut. Because if you don't, you're going to spend the next 2 months trying to figure this out over the phone. And guys, by the way, over the phone, it's doable, but it takes a heck of a lot more time and energy. So if you have the ability to be in front of your seller and one has a problem and one's gung forward for it, focus your shift and go to the one that's having a problem and address their needs personally. Hey, John, what can I do to make you feel, what's making you a little uneasy? And they go, no, I'm not uneasy with you. It's just, I promise you, it's going to be price, the terms, or does he actually want to sell or not? Your job is to get to that, because after 48 hours, you will never get a decision. Very, very rarely. So just keep that in mind on that one. Time is the enemy of all deals. Objection number 2, my favorite one. I call it the Zillow objection because it's more of a modern day problem, because I didn't have this when I first started out. I need more money. My house is worth $5 million. Well, I simply always say like this. Well, John, how did you come up with $5 million? Well, Zillow told me that. So Zillow will buy your house for that, or is it some sort of computer just guessing at the value? So you got to kind of shoot holes in, like, disrespecting anybody in objections will never get you anywhere. So you have to educate them and tell them the Zillow is just a guesstimate. Sometimes Zillow is way off. Sometimes it's brutally accurate, and I'm okay with it. I'm not scared of Zillow at all, but you have to wrap their head around it. Like, sometimes it is so far off. I have a property I'm dealing with right now. It's actually at almost a $2 million mark, and Zillow's valuing it like almost $5 million. The house is vacant. It needs work. an amazing property, but I'm just telling you, like, they are hung up on Zillow. And at the end of the day, Zillow's not going to buy it, and the market is only going to pay for what it's worth. And so we have to justify it. It's a pain in the butt. But guys, don't be scared of Zillow. Don't diss Zillow because it doesn't get you anywhere. So when you're dealing with your sellers, either on the phone or in person, look up the Zillow value so you know what your counter argument's going to be, and go ahead and take your notes and make sure you educate on them. Okay. Once again, this is a technique. I go, listen, Zillow's just guessing. They're not buying. Why don't we take a look at the house and see what it can afford? Okay. So many people will give you a price. Like someone will say, Rick, I need $1 million for my property because that's what I need to retire on. So they just gave you the answer to the objection, meaning they want more money because I need more money to retire. Well, that's not my job. It's definitely not your job. And all we can do is see what the house can afford, and we can make an offer based on that. Is that fair? I need to separate what you need from retirement to back to the asset. So once again, I'm going to separate myself from what you need for your retirement, and I have to focus on the asset unless you have any other assets you want to wrap up into it. So it's really, really important. It's kind of an easy one to get over. You can simply say, listen, when you get your house in perfect condition, then I'm happy to buy it. Like, honestly, if you get it up to that par, I might consider it. They won't. That's the reason they called you. And you have to understand that. Okay. You have to understand it's nothing more than a stall technique mostly. So I'm going to give some honorable mentions before we do the number one objection. So proof of funds. Guys, I've done videos to death on this one, and it's completely up to you. You have to have a strategy when you're doing wholesaling, meaning you actually you need to have the ability to close on a house. Oh, Rick, I've never bought a house. I'm 16, 17 years old. Fine. Go out and find a cash partner, someone that will back you up and split the deal, or give them 70% of the deal. Like, whatever you have to do to get that first deal done, get it done. Do not sit there and lie to people. If you don't have the ability to close on the house, or if you can't, I apologize. If you can't find someone that will take over your position for an assignment or contract, you need to make sure your guns are always loaded and ready to go, because if you get called to the table and you can't do it, it can create problems for you. So a proof of funds, remember, it's not always your proof of funds. Your seller's proof of funds will work just fine. That's your partner you're working with, and you can easily explain it. Having your seller's proof of funds and pre-vetting your cash buyers makes this foolproof for you. The other is, you guys can meet with hard money lenders. You have to meet with the hard money lenders before you do your deals, so you can have something structured and set up to fund your deals if it comes into that event. Rick, why would I ever have somebody fund the deal and do an assignment? Listen, I want you to sign every deal, but sometimes situations require you to double close on a property or close and quickly and resell it. Deals that can make $70,000, $50,000, $100,000. There's plenty of money into it. Bring in a money partner and make sure it works. Remember, guys, you can get a proof of funds from your cash buyers, and this will actually fill in that void. What I want you to do is prepare your tool chest when you go out wholesaling. If your strategy is just to assign and never, ever have a cash partner or something, you're going to get called to the table sooner or later, and I'm trying to prevent you from doing that. Next one. You look very young. I don't know where you came from, but that's a heck of a compliment. I beg for that compliment. So if you're under the age of 25 and you're getting this all the time, God bless you. Like, it's a compliment. Take it when someone tells you, go, really? You think so? I don't get it much, guys. Occasionally my wife says it, but I don't. She's been with me too long. She's kind of jaded. So if you look very young, take it as a compliment. Don't fight it. Embrace it. Do you really think I look that young? Is it my face? What is it? And I want you to understand, if you are young, I walked Zach through this business at 16 and 17 years old. Dude, Zach's got like a young looking face. So I sat down with Zach and I had a conversation. I said, Zach, are you going to let someone, based on how you look, decide what your financial future is going to be? He says, no, absolutely. So use it as an asset. Don't use it as a liability. So here's what you do when they say you look very young. Take it as a compliment and move on. Number two, If you're young, it's an asset. Okay. You lack experience, but you're getting it here with Rick and Zach. So you have confidence on that one. And number two, you have youth, you have enthusiasm, and you have an excitement level. Okay. If you don't want to know what I mean by that, you can make it up. Although you can never outclass somebody in experience, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of old guys out there like me doing this, and they're just boring. I'll buy your house. It is what it is. Take it or leave it. And you come in and go, listen, I want to help you out so much. I know I get it. You saw I looked a little bit young, but listen, I'm going to take such good care of you. And you're just fun to be around, and life's short. And I want to help you solve your situation. I assure you I can move forward and get this house bought. Wouldn't you rather work with someone that's excited and wants to help you out as opposed to someone that just buys all day and that's all they do? And that's what I'm gonna do with this strategy. You guys, you got to bring an energy level just like this.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go.
Okay? That's what I need, guys. If you're young, you've got to take that attitude, because experience will come with time, but a good attitude and a willingness to help people out and be a sympathizing, empathetic human being, dude, you already have it. You just got to utilize it. It didn't stop Zach, and it shouldn't stop you. That was at 16, guys. So I know I got people younger on here looking. I'm just telling you, your youth is a huge asset to the world's future. You need to bring it. How do you show it? I lack experience, but my enthusiasm, my excitement to help you out will more than make up for it. Number three. Hey, Rick, the property's already in probate. Dude, guys, just go on my YouTube channel, Flip with Rick, and put in probate. I probably got 10, 15 hours of this one. It's really simple. Okay. Anybody that's in probate can enter into a financial agreement. You're looking for the PR, stands for the personal representative, or the executor. Okay. It's that simple. Go there, look on YouTube. I'm not going to waste time on that one. Okay. Give me a bid. Realtor is coming next week. Can I copy your contract? Guys, this is why we don't hand out contracts that there's not immediate dire attention to sign right away. So we don't give bids. So at this point, it means you have not solved their curiosity with you, and they're a little bit nervous about working with you. So when I hear the word realtor, I'm going to focus on the reason they called me. Your house is run down. You can't have people walking through it. You don't want to do like extensive inspections, and you just want to know what you're going to walk away with. Well, the realtor has told me I could list it for $250. Why not list it for $500? You can list it for whatever you want. Judy, at the end of the day, you told me you wanted to walk away with $150,000 in your pocket, and I'm giving you a deal that will exactly accomplish that. So I want you guys to think about this. If you ever gone to eBay, you ever bid for something, and a sniper bid beats you out at the end like it's timing down, I don't want to fight with those people. Okay. I want to create the buy now price. What's the price? We get it now and we're all done. Those are the sellers I'm looking for. Those are motivated people. The people that are purely on 100% price, let's talk about it, right? If it's just about price, then they need to go to MLS. If you guys want to win on price, you will be out of wholesaling faster than you ever started. Wholesaling is never about price. It's about solving problems and creating win-win situations. Okay. So objection number one, no. Okay. You can't force your sellers. You can't force your sellers to do stuff. So you have to wean them in it. And this is where you learn a little bit about sales. No just means I do not have enough information to move forward, or you're making me uncomfortable, or I just don't want to work with you. If it's a hard no, hey, we're not moving, we're staying here, then wish them the best. Tell them if anything changes, keep in contact with you, and put them up in a long-term follow-up in your CRM. Okay. But I will tell you this, most of the no's just means, listen, I don't know enough about you. You're making me super uncomfortable. So take it a little bit personal and go back in and learn. And this is where your experience will add up over time. In the beginning, I was terrible at this. Now, somebody gives me a no, I just have fun with it. Fun. No just means let's flirt a little bit more, right? Like let's open this up. Remember, they called you for a reason. They called you for a reason. Solve their problem. Okay. How many times have you dealt with somebody you've never met before in person or on the phone and you told them all your life problems? No, you need to get to know people. You ever notice, like, once your friends and stuff get to know you, it's like a permission slip for them to dump on you? You need to do the same thing with your sellers. You need to figure out the why. Okay. So let's do an overview. I want to get in and help you guys out. I went a little bit longer, but hopefully it's really helpful information. Number one, questioning. Once they start questioning you, push back, take control, say, listen, for me to move forward and help you out, I just need to ask you a few questions. Please give me the permission just to ask you some key questions to structure the best offer for you. Is that fair? Simple as that. Number two, I'm going to review it with my attorney. Guys, give them a blank contract or get the attorney's contact information and you send it direct. And if they don't have it, it means they're lying to you and it means you need to overcome another objection. Something about this is making them uncomfortable. Guys, it's human nature to blame a third party on why you don't want to tell someone no. It's the truth. It's the absolute truth. People defer to something else so they don't have a confrontation with you. And that's why they do it. Okay. Number five, I don't know. I have to think about it. I don't know. I have to think about it. It's like they're maybeing you to death. Okay. You have to set up an upfront agreement and put a timestamp on the expiration of when they come to a decision of yes or no. So guys, how do you counteract it? An upfront agreement. Number four, what's your offer, Rick? Like, what is it? Tell me right away. It means they're taking over. Once again, you have to push back and check them. Listen, John, would you buy a car you never test drove? No, absolutely wouldn't. Okay. Well, let me ask you some questions about this wonderful property you have and see if I can structure a deal that makes sense to you. Is that fair? Do I have permission? Yes. You move on. Guys, once they start pushing on the questions, if you answer one of them like past the first one, it's like an interrogation. Okay. I don't want to it's like you are not in control anymore and you become nothing more than an order taker. So, what's your offer? We kind of went over that on how to deal with it. Just check them, ask them the questions, and then you can go towards the negotiation. Number three, let me speak to my wife. Remember, set up the decision maker up front and you will overcome this almost all the time. And remember, if you have a couple you're buying the house from and one's on board and one's not, shift your focus to the one that has the challenges and solve it. Here's another little tip I'm going to give you, okay? It's going to sound brutal, but it's the truth. Figure out very quickly in the first 5 minutes who the decision maker is. Every family has a key figure that makes the final decision, and they will give you all the clues you want. And sometimes it's the wife, sometimes it's the husband. Basically, what I'm telling you is find out who wears the pants in the family. So, number two, I need more money. My house is worth $1 million. Just tell them, listen, is Zillow buying houses? Did I miss something? Let me see what your house can afford, and then we can see if we can make an offer that makes sense. Sound fair? Simply just overcoming that objection. And what did I do? And then the last one I put up here, which is common sense, is no. No means I'm missing information. You're going to have to kind of jump back in and figure out like where I'm missing them. And this is where you got to really ask questions. And a lot of times, guys, simple no is just asking them a shocking question that throws them off balance because you got nothing to lose at this point. So real simple is, John, what am I doing to make you so uncomfortable? And just shut up. And usually sometimes you'll challenge them and they'll give you a raw emotional response. And that's what you're looking for. Remember, we always ask questions to get more data so we can better serve them and give them a better offer. So I'm going to get off the slide thing here. So once again, I'm going to go through the comments. If you guys want to jump on a live, now's the time to do it. I apologize for the wait there, but I'm wide open right now. So very rare does Zach let me give me the authority to do lives one-on-ones. But we said today, hey, people are used to lives one-on-ones. Guys, now's your time to do it. Jump on. I'm happy to help anybody out. And let's go from here. I'm going to go through the comments. I'm going to try to jump back up at the top and until I get anyone brave enough to do a live. And promise you guys, I don't bite. I think Zach bites harder than I do. I'm pretty easygoing. I love this business. And if I can help you out, it actually brings me pleasure. That's the crazy thing about it. So let's see here. I appreciate it, Joel. I appreciate it. He's always here on our streams. Okay. Well, let's get down past our initial meet and greet. So guys, you can answer questions in the comments too. That's great. And let me take one more here. Let's see. What's up, Steve? How you doing? Okay, awesome. Let's see here. Okay. So, Van, if you're ready, I'm going to bring you on.
Hey, Rick. How you doing?
Good, man. I like your kitty cat there.
I love cats. I just can't have one. I'm allergic to them.
I really? Yeah, we got one family pet cat. She decided to hop on the live a couple weeks ago, created some problems for me. So she's not a big fan of me. So what's going on, man? What can I help you out with?
So I started going after arrest records, and I feel like I don't understand how to open up to them. Like, I know they have the house, I know they own it, but when I text them that if they want to like sell the house, they're very rude, and I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong.
Okay. Hold on one second. Let me fix something here.
Yes. How are you doing today, by the way?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
It cups of coffee, makes me all jittery. I'm just hyper focused right now. Oh man.
Coffee's better than the alternative, right? So.
Oh yes.
Okay, so where are you located?
Louisiana.
Okay. So arrest records. I've actually have a lot of experience in this. I've always told you guys up front. Arrest records are wonderful, but it's brutal.
Yes, they are very rude.
It's you got to think about this, okay? When someone's been arrested and they're incarcerated, a lot of the people I deal with are literally stuck in jail. Okay? So when they get a piece of offering from you, whatever it is, or maybe they're out on bail or something like that, they'll respond to you, but they're pretty brutal. So I'm here to tell you, man, like most of them are absolutely brutal. And that's the one thing that I don't like about arrest records, but it works. Number two, when you do get a deal, the amount of drama you're going to go through, it's terrible. I'm just telling you, I used to do this myself. I used to have to register, go down to the county jail, check in, go through metal detectors, fill out a million forms. And then sometimes the guy didn't want to meet with me. He didn't feel like it that day. And I wasted like half my day. And then we go through a lot of drama on them. So as I said, the mechanics are pretty straightforward on arrest records. The motivation is if someone's going to be incarcerated and go away for a long time and they don't have any family and they typically have a mortgage on the property, they know if they don't pay the mortgage, the house is going to be foreclosed and there's nothing they can do while they're in jail. So they rather take the cash out. How much cash they want, that's always people in jail. Honestly, they're very unrealistic. Like they just think the house is worth $1 million and you're going to do this and that. And it's very, very challenging to get access to the house and do everything. So does all this resonate with you, what I'm telling you?
Yes. I've been, for the people that I talk to, they surprisingly have phones inside their cells. Like, I watch Netflix and TV shows and stuff. They never have communications inside their rooms, but they have text messaging and they have phone calls right in their cells.
Yeah. So I don't know how all jails operate, but I've had direct mail. You guys know I'm a big direct mail person. We recently, within the last year, had somebody on death row respond to one of our direct mail pieces. Now, how he got it is beyond me because I don't mail the jails. So somehow the letter got forwarded to him and he wrote some crazy letter back to us and gave us all these conditions. And we looked up, he's in for multiple counts of murder of children of all things.
Holy
And
shit.
we just decided we just don't want to get involved in this much drama. I want a deal, but I'm not that desperate. And he made it very clear it was going to be difficult. And we had to spend a lot of time with him in jail. And we just decided to move on and pass. So he bugged us for 3 months later and then went away. So, dude, all I can do is you got to kind of hang in there. And the mechanics of arrest records is you get the arrest records from your you can get them online. It's pretty easy.
Yes.
And then you cross-reference to see if they own property. You skip trace and you call them.
Yes.
You interested in selling? You the owner of this property? You interested in selling? That's all you can do. They are going to light you up, Van. They're going to light you up. And
okay, I thought it was
honestly,
some other secret way.
If it's eating you alive, just stop doing it and find another way to do it. It's not fun.
Yeah, it's really difficult.
But when you do find them, you do pretty good. The biggest challenge is honestly getting them to sign the contract. That's the hardest part when someone's in incarceration. It's really, really tough because you typically have to go down to the jailhouse, and it's quite a process. And you have to pre-register. Sometimes they do background checks on you, all sorts of crazy stuff, and you get a visitor's patch. I got a whole drawer full of them. I stopped doing it. So I have people who still do it for me, and they just go, "Oh my God, I don't want to go see this guy or this girl." I'm just like, "Welcome to my world." Like that's how deals work. So if there's any specific objection I can help you overcome other than like they're nasty to you, I can't fix that.
So I have one lady that she wants to sell the house, and she's gonna sell it as is, but with all her stuff in there. She's in there for about 30 years for domestic abuse. She racked that up for like 4 times in a row.
Okay.
At $45,000 each charge, and she's gonna be in there for a while.
Okay.
But what should I do with her stuff?
That's your biggest concern, her stuff?
Well,
who cares?
Like usually I buy houses that kind of vacant and just have trash and stuff, but her.
Have you seen the inside of the house, Van?
Yes.
How much stuff we talk? How big of a house is it?
It's a 2,000 square feet ish. It's a hoarder's house.
Okay. See, I changed a little bit of it. So what do you think it would cost you to get that stuff out of there if you had to hire someone? Put a dumpster there, the whole 9 yards.
About 1,000 ish, maybe.
So everything has a number. So just solve it. It's a math problem. If you're getting a really good deal, $1,000 is nothing. Okay. If the deal's super tight and you're worried about $1,000, you probably got it at the wrong price. I'm just being honest with you. So, guys, 75% of the houses I buy are full of crap. We just write it in the equation. So a lot of the deals I sign, I sell it with the crap in it. I don't like hoarders houses. They're a pain in the butt. I got 2 going on right now, and I literally wholesale them as I see them. Like I don't even spend a dime on them because there's nothing you can do at a hoarder's house to make it look better. They're usually infested with bugs. They have structural issues. They're just disgusting. Like the walls are wet. The moisture's terrible. They don't turn on the air conditioning. So now if it's a house that I can wholesale, I'll go in, put a couple $1,000, clean it up, put it on the market. But like on a hoarder's house, so what do you have a contract with them, or are you still discussing it with her?
We're still discussing it, but she wants to sell it for $10,000. The market value for it is around $90,000.
So she wants to sell it for 10, and it's worth 90.
Well, like renovated and stuff.
Renovated,
yeah. And it has damages, like mostly paint, foundation issues because it's on piers.
So do you think you could find a cash buyer to buy that property for 5 or 10 grand more than you're buying it for?
Yeah, I can find them pretty quick. Like,
don't worry about the thought. Like, just move on. Now, if you want, the house is vacant, or is somebody in there?
Oh, it's vacant.
Okay.
There was a dead animal in there, but like
now, well, there's probably more hidden below all the stuff.
Oh God, please.
The problem with cleaning out a hoarder's house, it's usually 3 times worse than what you thought it was because it never ends. I did a hoarder house about 3 years ago, and my crew was like, "Dude, Rick, we need another dumpster." We did 3. Ready for this? 40-yard dumpsters, and it wasn't that big of a house. I was in shock.
Holy Jesus!
Okay? 40 yards is 220, so that's like doing 6 dumpsters, and it just didn't stop. because I did not take into account that they stuffed the attic to the gills where nobody could even get up there. So one of the two ways is you can take a risk, spend $1,000, which it might be closer to 2,000. I'm going to be honest with you. And the idea is if you put 1,000 or 2,000 into it, can you double your money or get 5 times the return on it? So have you ever gone to Vegas, man?
Oh no, too poor for that.
Okay. So, but like, honestly, if you're going to bet on something, you need to have like an 80% outcome of the probability. So if you put 1,000 into it and say, instead of selling that house for 15,000, you could now sell it for like 22,000, it's well spent money. What's your worst case scenario? You just have $1,000 less than profit. So make a decision on the small amounts, dude. I'll take a risk all day long. Like, to me, if there's a 70, 80% probability I'll get more money, I will tell you this, buyers will pay more for a house that you solve more problems with. You just got to, like, you're a regular business. So if I spend $1,000, I want at least a 5 times or 10 times return on that money, because it's going to require work and effort. Hopefully you're not doing the work. Do not go in there with a hazmat suit. You ain't gonna like it. So either way though, or just sell it with the current problem and move on with your life. Sometimes hoarder's house, I don't want to touch, because in my experience, when you take the stuff out, the house looks worse than when you started with. The carpet's all stained. There's maggots everywhere. So I would, dude, like, let me know. Shoot, I'll buy the property. I'm telling you, that's a good deal. Like, from what you've told me, I think someone would pay you 15, 20, 25 grand for it, like as is, because people are looking for renovation projects, and that's perfect. So
yes.
Sounds like what you're doing is working. So you're going to get your teeth kicked in on them. And remember, the arrest records, like, how many leads have you dealt with so far in total that actually own a home? So we can share with others.
About 8.
Yeah. So it's not a full-time job. So move on to the other one: code violations, tax delinquencies. You can do high equity and go down, but like arrest records, guys, if you do it, it's a very, very small like amount of leads. They're actually significantly less than probates, but when they hit, I usually do very well. So, man, when are you going to get that under contract?
Oh, probably next week.
Okay.
It's just hard to talk to those people and set up times, but I can talk to them over the phone and text, but in person to person, it's rough.
Okay. Go get it and come back with us and share the results with it. You have got to find the straightest line to get that under contract, because you have nothing to lose on this one, man. Like, honestly, most people would dream to do a $10,000 property to sell it for like another 10. Like, it's the perfect scenario. And if you struggle with it, let me know. Like, I'll buy it, or find somebody in the chat here. They'd be more than happy to buy this deal from you. So
yes, thank you.
Any other questions? Anything else I can help you out with?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
Thank you very
much. Okay. Ben, I appreciate you. Go get that. And hopefully I've helped you. And guys, I'm not here to embarrass anybody on the lives. I actually want to help you. And hopefully I've given Ben a few ideas. You've got to get that thing under contract. It's got to be on your mind 24/7 until you get under contract, because it's an amazing feeling when you get it done. So you'll get it and you'll help her out and you move on, you know?
Yes.
Okay, Van. Have a good one. Update me next week and let me know you got it under contract.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, man. See ya. Okay, guys. It's that simple. Van's got a deal and he's just struggling with the content on it. Do never, ever get in the business outside of real estate of the contents. I did that for a very short while. It will distract you. There's no money in selling furniture and tchotchke stuff in the garage. Do not waste your time. Do not get in the estate sale business. I learned this mistake a long time ago. Always concentrate on the real estate. That's where the real money is. So Joel says, hey, well, Joel, you already found the link. So I see you there. So speaking of Joel, what's up, Joel? You there? Unmute your mic. I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
Not make too much noise. I just kind of got started. I'm one of those people that like to be like extra prepared. I feel like I need to be extra prepared. What is that?
Joel, where are you out of?
Tampa.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. What's your background?
I've been doing insurance for the last like 4 years, home insurance. But by the way, you the boss, you the man. I can, I gotta give it to you. You
Can I go find my wife and you tell her that?
Sure, go ahead, go get
Oh
her.
man. You guys ever feel that way? Like sometimes your spouse is like, yeah, what do you do all day? I'm like, she goes, you just
Yeah.
like, you go on the internet, you talk, and then you flip a bunch of properties. I'm like, trust me, dude. It took me a long time to get to this point. So, and what market you in?
I'm kind of going like on the outside of Tampa.
Okay.
I also have my CDL, so I drive a lot up the East Coast. So I've been kind of collecting zip codes and looking at, outskirts of like major cities and stuff, like outside of Nashville, outside of Charlotte, stuff like that.
Okay.
But I have like, I went and I grabbed Roar for text messaging, stuff like that.
Okay.
My two biggest obstacles right now are just the fact that I get a lot of replies back and people are just posting like outrageous numbers, and also they want like funds verification. I forget the
Proof of
verb.
funds.
Yeah, proof of funds. Yes.
Okay.
So that's what's like the biggest thing that's that's going on right now. That I don't know how to overcome that stuff. I don't know what to do.
So what type of marketing medium are you using? Is it like text blast, cold calling?
Yes, through Roar.
I missed you there. Which one was it?
Through Roar.
Okay. Is that texting or I'm
Yeah,
not familiar with? Okay.
text, yeah.
I'm not the tech guy, dude. Trust me. I'm the ugly face behind this whole thing. So, with texting, you know, the art of it is you have to convert them from a text to a phone call. Like I think I did one deal with text and it didn't work out very well, because that's the only way I could communicate with them. So number one is you're converting and you're trying to have conversations with people. I'm going to give you a couple tips here. I'm going to do the best I can with the information I have. Number one, guys, understand on price. Some of the best deals I've ever done have started at the most ridiculous price. Listen, it's frustrating if someone says I want $1 million and their house is only worth like 50 grand. It's like, you know, they're completely full of, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But you also have to keep in mind, you probably harvested a list. You either busted your butt to get it or you bought it. And they were on that list. Now they're on that list for a reason. Okay. If it's a code violation, a tax delinquency, a water shutoff or anything like that, remember your lists are everything. So if you're completely struggling with your data, sometimes you got to pull back and look at your list. So we're going to talk about the list last though, because that's the most important. Number two, when they give you a price, I want you to kind of numb the price out. And a price over text is meaningless to me. There's no commitment. There's nothing. When they spit out a price, ignore it. Oh, okay. Hey, do you mind if I ask you a few questions about the property? You need to see if there's any type of motivation there. If there's no motivation, you don't even have to discuss price. You can just move on with your life. Like,
okay.
You are never going to get a good, if you don't have a motivation, you are basically going on MLS and competing without a realtor and paying the realtor fees and doing all that minutia for it. Okay. Price is irrelevant. If somebody needs to sell a house, a lot of people will test you right off the bat. And if you're like, oh, you're crazy, I would never pay that. It's hard to discuss when people start at like $1 million. I get it. If you're too far apart, how much work am I going to have to do? But here's my theory. If I can get someone within 15% of a target price, it's a no-brainer for me. Like I don't even, so an instance, I get a lot of people, we do a lot of Port St. Lucie. You know, the going rate right now is like 330, 340. Okay. So we target a neighborhood, we do a big time on the code violations. They call me, I know they're off that list, or they call one of my people, and I tell them just disregard the price. You guys know I use a ridiculous postcard. Okay. I'm not telling you to do direct mail. I put on there a price on the postcard. So I already give them a price and they call me. You know what I tell all my acquisitions? Ignore the price. Who cares? It doesn't matter. They're just putting up a front. If they truly need to sell and they're motivated, if you can build a little rapport and get through the questions, if there's motivation, they're worth following up. If there's no motivation and they got a sky high price, just thank them for the day and move on. Like there's just, what am I going to do with you? Like you need a realtor. You don't need me. Okay. So do not let price freak you out in the beginning. because I've done I'm working on one monster deal right now. We're $2 million off in price, and it looks like it's going to take some work, but it's a lot of lawyers and stuff. But they initially told me such a crazy price, and I knew what they wanted to do. And I'm like, that price doesn't even make sense. You've got to sell it in the next 90 days. And I disregarded it. And after a while, he finally broke down. He goes, I need to sell it. I know you know the property. Can we come up with a fair offer? And we came. Now, on the higher end properties, a whole different system. They got to get appraisals and stuff like that. On the lower end properties, the same thing. House is worth 300,000. I go, I need 600,000. I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, can you tell me a little bit about the condition of the house? I'm gonna walk through. What's your timeline? And if all those 4 questions point towards a motivated seller, I'm gonna keep digging until I get the answers I need. If they don't, just move on with your time. Okay. The next one you talk about is the proof of funds. I get it. So you basically have 2 strategies. So if you're just starting out in this, number 1, you should get a cash buyers list. You do not need hundreds and hundreds. You just need 4 or 5. Okay. Pre-vet them and get their proof of funds. Okay.
Okay.
They go, well, they're going to say, well, Joel, like, you want a proof of funds, but I don't even know what you want to buy it for. I go, I just need to know that, like, you have liquid cash ready to go. Okay. If you're serious, they'll give it to you. People that do not want to give you a proof of funds are never, ever going to be a good cash buyer for you, and they're wasting your time. Okay.
Okay.
You can use that information to your advantage when you submit a contract. Like, honestly, you already tell them, hey, we work with multiple partners. That might be your partner. The other way you do it is reach out to hard money people. I'm not a big fan of this. I started out with hard money. There's a reason they call it hard money. It's hard, but it's becoming easier and easier. Hard money people they're not really underwriting your credit. They're more underwriting the property and then your experience level. Be honest with them and just set it up in the background. You're going to pay for the first deal. They're going to charge you 8 to 10% plus 3 to 4 points. But if you could make 50 or 100 grand off of a deal and you had an ability to fund it, every now and then you have a unique situation where you have to get rid of the problem to get the paycheck. And I promise you, we just had a deal, $130,000 profit. I had to get rid of the tenant. The only way I could do it was buy the property, evict the tenant, and then put it on the market. It took us 61 days, 100,000 plus. And I did soft money funding with that. Okay. The other way you do is soft money. I tell everyone, just avoid family. Family is a big enough burden as is. You do not need to go to your family and start asking for money unless you have a unique relationship with them. Okay. Soft money is people like are frustrated with investing in the market or doing this. And you simply explain to them, basically, and by the way, when you first start out with soft money, I'm going to tell everyone, you need to overpay these people because they're taking a huge risk with you.
Okay.
What's overpaying? The typical person I start out with hard money, soft money would be 10 to 12%. Remember, it's like, and then honestly, I'm going to give them a bonus on top of it. So I gave you 3 different methods for proof of funds. You've got to find 1 or 2 of those strategies that works. And when you get called to the table, pull in your holster and pull them out. Because if you don't, they're going to go, oh, Joel, you're not very serious anymore. In the old days, nobody ever questioned us wholesalers on proof of funds. It's so mainstream right now. It's the number 1 question probably being asked out there.
Yeah, that's literally what I get.
So Joel, worst case scenario, you ready for this? You know what I did to overcome this? I had no experience. I had very little good coaching at the time. I had a lot of people take my money that had no idea what they're doing. Is if you have decent credit and you have some sort of W-2, go to your bank and just get a pre-approval letter. That's what I used for the first 2 years. Now I'm not going to use it, but if a deal came up and I had to use it, I was going to make like a huge payoff. Why not? Right?
No, yeah, that makes.
So they're just simple ideas. Like a lot of times we just overthink like what we do, and you've got to find a marketing channel that you can stick to. And I tell you, just got to be extremely consistent in it. The minute you stop and try to change strategies, it's okay to switch and pivot. But the problem is the people who switch every month in this business, they're usually doomed for failure. So texting, to be honest with you, probably one of the most amazing things I was ever introduced to for wholesaling, because it was so scalable and it was perfect for the 1-man or 1-woman army. But as more and more people use it, more people, they're getting used to it. Like I'm getting hammered by realtor associations. I'm getting hammered by insurance agents. Yeah. Everybody's using it in their industry, so we're all getting numb to it, and that's the problem. So like right here, as we speak, I just got a text. I can tell by the digits on here. Let's see what it says here. Oh, never mind. That's something else on there. But I constantly get them, and I'm just saying, like, you're a little bit numb to it. So so let's go back to the last one of your list. How are you accumulating your list for your prospects?
I'm using PropStream. The list that I'm working on right now, because I kind of started dabbing into it a couple of months back. But again, I got like the analysis paralysis, and I had a list. I just did like a high equity list. I didn't really do it too much. And the last couple of weeks, I got back into it. And now I'm working on a list it's just all vacant properties throughout the East Coast. Is like 30% equity, 40% equity, but just all vacant properties.
Okay. So let me ask you, how long you been in Tampa for? You grew up there, or?
No, I've only been in Tampa for about 2 years.
Okay.
But you guys like I would say like August last year, and I started the course, and then I was also working on my CDL. So I had to kind of like put something on hold. So I'm trying to get back in it for the long haul.
Okay. So you're familiar enough with Tampa. So I actually went to college over there. I spent way too much time there. And I walked away with little other than learn how to drink a lot back then, which is definitely not.
Yeah, Tampa
don't do that. But it's just understanding. So you're at least admitting, listen, Rick, I analysis by paralysis. So either that comes from the way you were raised with your family. You had very thorough parents, said you got to think everything through. It's got to be perfect.
Very conservative.
Or schooling kind of drove you there. Schooling alone will kill you on this one, because you have to study. And what's the reward? If I get an A or a B, I feel good. If I get a C or below, I kind of like I didn't do well. And the latter part, that's not the reality of life. The reality of life is anybody you meet that's made it in life, meaning they're financially successful and I like people with balance. People who make a ton of money that are terribly out of shape, they're a disaster, and they're mean to people. They're not successful people to me. Okay. Yeah. We're all working on something, including you and me. So I try to, like, every one of them, I've been on the earth 52 years. They have one thing in common. They just keep going forward no matter what the obstacle, within reason. Like if you're juggling sharp knives and you keep chopping your fingers off, eventually you're not gonna have any fingers left. And you've got to understand, that's why we don't play with alligators, snakes. I have ADHD. You already know that because I'm all over the board with you. But I was told that was the reason I wasn't good at school. I was always doomed for like to be a line worker job type of guy. And I don't think you can do that because you won't pay attention long enough. Okay. I've been constantly programmed my entire life for that. Yeah, when I went to school, they didn't even know what ADHD. They just seemed, you're just a hyper kid. What's your problem? Now they medicate you and everything. So I've learned, it took me a long time, well into my like late 30s, to understand I have this. This is just how my brain operates, and I'm kind of hardwired for it. So I'm always thinking like 2 minutes ahead of them. I'm talking to you now, and it can be a problem. It creates sometimes problems with my wife, to be brutally honest, because I'm always thinking ahead, and I'm trying to protect her. With my kids, it's like I see things they don't see. But to someone like you, they're like, why are you like all over the place? I'm just like, I'm telling you, this is how I think and I operate. And you got to get in someone's head. So you have to get to the root problem of why you want to overanalyze stuff. And you have to dispel that theory in your head, because me too. Highly conservative parents, study, go to school, get a good job. I tried all that stuff. It was a 12-year experiment that failed miserably for me. So I tried it, but I looked at the data and said, no. So stop. Wholesaling has nothing to do with like being perfectly studied. My first deal took me 42 days to put together. I had no idea what I was doing. I almost peed in my pants. I literally thought I was going to have a heart attack, but I got through it. And I wanted to just pull back and go, like a lot of objections came up. I made my first $10,000. I showed my wife, and she always supported me anyways. But the rest of my family's kind of like, what are you doing? This is crazy. And once you get rid of that like paralysis part, like it's all up here, dude. You gotta, But you have to do it. You have to go through a journey, and everybody's watching this. If you're doing the exact same thing, sometimes you can, when we get a little bit older, we think back and go, okay, well, how the heck why do I do this? I know it's bad, but I keep doing it.
Yeah.
Paralysis by analysis is a conservative, let's stay safe, let's get a good job, let's not do anything type of deal. Listen, we're all going to die. Like, I've never met anybody who didn't get out of it. So you might as well take a shot in life while you're here, because you can always go back. I know you can always go back and do insurance, right? I worked in the corporate America for 12 years. I tried. I did everything. 80-hour a week. It sucked, dude. Like, I can't believe how much I gave up in my life for it, but I didn't have the education or the tools. So wholesaling is frustrating in the beginning. It takes time. Everybody I've done these live, the people that have stuck to it, they eventually come out. I can't tell you if you're going to do it in 30 days or a year, but I'm telling you, it's easily done within 1 year. My personal opinion, if you apply yourself and do it. So lose the paralysis. I'm not telling you to be reckless. Like, that's not my motive. It's like, take the actions you need for marketing and have the conversations. And the more you have, the more you'll increase your odds of doing a deal. Yes, these people are frustrating. I experienced the exact same thing every one of you guys are thinking or doing. I have a business of wholesaling. Like, I'm not numb to this either. I have to hear this on a daily basis. And what do I say? Let's just get through more conversations. Let's increase our list and let's find more people. We just had 2 people back out of a contract, and I got to make a decision if I'm going to enforce it. And one of them, I'm going to get in the car tomorrow and just go talk to them face to face. Go, okay, let's try to iron this out. I have all the data. I know what's going on here. Can we work this out? I can't make people close. So you're just going to have to take a risk and kind of go out there. It's just really uncomfortable and awkward. And I know you feel that way right now.
Yeah.
And here's the thing is, wholesaling is a very lonely sport. Like, do you have anyone other than me to talk to about it? Occasionally go on a forum, but it's like, you never know who you're talking to. Like, to talk to your family, they look at like, what the heck is he talking about? What do you mean?
Why are you sitting in front of your computer for 4 hours?
But I'm telling you, the payout, like, I worked like a dog my first 2 years really the first 7 years in the business, I worked like a dog. And now I've created luxury, but like, even though I can pull back, I don't even have to work anymore. I actually enjoy this stuff. Like, I enjoy the thrill of hunting a deal. So I love fishing. I love outdoors, and I equate to real estate. It's probably the closest thing I get to adventure and going out and hunting. Kind of like it's like an instinct for most men. So I love sports. I love competition. It's just great, man. And here's the deal, Joel. The only person you're ever competing with is who?
Me.
That's it. And once you realize that, it's extremely powerful stuff. So the paralysis analysis, all in your head, get rid of it. If you look at people, I just watched the guy. I'm not going to give a name because I love him to death, but it's a completely different business. He took a business in 2 years. He's doing $100 million a month, no experience. And I asked him point blank, how did you do it? He goes, I just did it. Like, it was brutal. And I talked to Jeff Bezos, Russell Brunson, all of them. If you ever looked up the Russell Brunson story, I've spent a lot of time at Russell's events and learning how to connect with all you guys. Dude, that guy was down to his last $10,000 and he was ready to give up on ClickFunnels. And he just made one little shift, and it says it saved the company. And it was so stupid, but like, you can Google the story and look it up. It just, everybody was on the brink that's made it, including me. At one point I looked, I go, man, the account is low. This is getting scary. Do I quit and go back to my job, or do I continue doing this? And I stuck it out, man. I tell you, from 09 and 10, those were 2 brutal years in this business because we didn't understand what to do as wholesalers because it was such a unique market. Now I know exactly what to do when it comes up again, and I'm super excited about it. So I know these are general answers, but I'm just trying to tell you, you're not alone. It's out there all the time. Be careful the information you take off the internet, because it's just someone's opinion most of the time. And you can have someone either validate or non-validate whatever you're thinking. And that's the problem with social media. Although I love it connecting with you all, but you don't know who's behind the screen for the most part. So like a lot of people say, Rick, direct mail doesn't work. Like, explain that to me. Well, I did a mailing. Okay. You did one mailing and you're going to quit? Like, come on.
I think that everything works if you put enough into it. Like I said, I'm from a very conservative Spanish family.
Yeah.
That you know, being an entrepreneur is just, you know, something crazy for
So,
them. It's,
so here's the deal: is change it. Like I've
yeah,
learned that, like we don't get to choose our family.
no.
God makes that choice for you, and like I just learned to love my family for who they are, and I filter the opinions. So you have to. My
Yeah.
my by the way, my family constantly tells me how to do business. I love them, so I can either lash out at them and go, "That's thank you so much for that feedback." And in the old days, I used to like, no, 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 no. And now I just go, okay, well, great. Don't take advice from someone's shoes you don't want to be in. So if you ever did like, if you wanted a trainer, dude, you're going to take like some big heavy set dude to tell you what to do? No. Are you
Yeah.
going to take a broke? So if you're broke, but you're going to tell me how to run my business, why am I like, dude, fail? Listen, we all love our family, but I'm going to tell you, our parents have
Also,
such, your parents should have the most influence on you in life.
yes.
But it took me until my mid 30s to understanding that I just need to love my parents. I don't need their approval for everything. And you'll have to accept that to a certain fact, because it's once you get past that, like nothing can stop you. You can always go back to your old life, Joel. The fact you're taking a risk, and you can explain to your parents, I'm just trying to make things better. And
Yeah.
remember, their job is to protect you. That's it. The parents' job, like the maternal instincts. Do you have kids, Joel?
No. No.
Okay. So when you have kids, you'll have this biological urge just to protect them at all costs. Like it's so hardwired into you can't undo it. It takes a freak of nature for someone not to care for their children. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's your parents' job. So you love them for like, you just try to keep me alive. My wife tries to keep me alive every day. It's like, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't go way offshore. You shouldn't do this. I'm like, I love it. It makes me feel alive every day. And she gets it. It took a long time to have them figure it out. Um, so I would, it's not tuning your family out, but listen, I love my dad to death. He gave me horrible like relationship advice, because here's what your kids do. So when you have kids, Joel, if you decide to have them, your kids will watch what you do. They'll hear what you say, but what you do supersedes whatever you say. And that's what I'm telling you. Your actions will speak louder than your words. So you just got to take like a massive amount of action. And here's the disclosure. It's not all going to be correct. Sometimes you're just wrong. So you're in the right path, dude. I went through
Thank
everything you go through it. And it's like some days, like, I wonder why I'm in this business. I'm just giving you full disclosure. Like sometimes I feel like there's easier things to do, but I actually love what I do. And that's my 20 years of doing it. So,
always wanted to have something to do with real estate. And when I found wholesaling,
I'm going to end this with you. What's your why for doing this?
I just want to give, to be honest, I just want to give my family a better way of living.
There you go. So you already know real estate's a proven path.
Yeah.
You have challenges because there's a lot of people. The beauty is I'm not taking any money from you. So you go, okay, Rick just gave me a gift. I'm going to run through it. Go to freewholesaling.com and just keep doing that. And just keep jumping back on these masterminds. I've had people like Jason's getting ready to come on. He comes on every week. I don't collect a dime from Jason. I just want him to succeed. The more people I can help, the better everybody thrives. And that's what I'm trying to get my point across here. So jump on with Zach. I'm on every Thursday with Zach too. Zach's on every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I do Friday. So take advantage of it. Like the tools are there. I don't understand why more people don't jump on this live. They think there's a hook to it. There's not.
No,
I'm giving my time. I love it, dude. Like I love people like you. I know the struggle you went through. I've been in your shoes. I'm telling you, if you stick it out, you're going to thank me later. You're going to hunt me down. You're going to drive over to South Florida and go, okay, I got to find this Rick guy. Cause I've had multiple people do it. And I don't need everybody doing it. I'm just telling you, you're fine. Just keep doing what you're doing. Use the proof of funds method I taught you there. And then when your teller gives you price, go, okay, Rick told me ignore price, seek motivation. And that should help you in that direction. And just tune in every week and let's talk. And I'm happy to help you out.
definitely. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, Joel, have a good one, bud. I'll see you. Okay. Let me answer some questions online. I'm going to bring Jason on in a minute. And then I got Joel coming on behind that. So I appreciate it, Michelle. Thank you, Joel. I don't preach, but I know a cute baby when I see it on the I see it on someone's avatar there. That's That's a cute kid, man. Hopefully it's yours. More is caught than taught. That's a good one. So, yeah, I know. Like sometimes I get in these things. So where like stuff just flows through. I've been doing this so long. It's almost second nature to me. And so when I sit in like natural masterminds, I'm not talking about like paid fake masterminds, is if people just want to truly learn how to connect with people, you have to learn the art of connecting with people and how to get a good wholesale deal. Then you scale. But the problem with the whole coaching community right now is gurus are teaching you how to scale without giving you any of the basic skills. And then a lot of people are using, well, let's take Rick and Zach's free model because we'll get more exposure. And they're leaving out key pieces of element to teach you how to close people. And to me, that's not free. It's called fake. And when you have people that, have you ever been sucked into a funnel? You try something out for a day or two, go, that's really cool. But they limit those 2 features in the software that actually makes it effective. I can't stand that stuff. And that's what's going on in the wholesaling community. Guys, the way they're teaching wholesale right now is the same way I learned 20 years ago. The world has changed. You guys get all this information. There's no more secrets, guys. I've been through 20 years. If you think there's a secret, ask me it and I'll dispel it. I guarantee I'll dispel it instantly for you. So, there you go. Joel says it there. So, Jason, I'm pulling you on right now. So,
hey, what's going on, Rick? I'm here. How are you?
Good, man. You got just me without Zach. So, be gentle on me.
Awesome.
What's going on?
Well, I appreciate your time today, Rick. Not
What's
much.
up?
I had a quick question. So I was doing some cold calling today, and I came across a seller who has a piece of property, and it has a mobile home on it. So it's the mobile home for sale and the lot, of course. The mobile home is pretty much unlivable.
Okay.
My question is, so I looked it up on PropStream, and the lot is owned by the guy I was talking to. His name is William. And the mobile home is actually owned by somebody else. I think it may be his mom. He mentioned his mom used to own it, but she had passed away.
Okay.
So my question is, if I were to wholesale that, how would it work with the mobile home? Like, would I have to get the title with the mobile home, or is it connected, or how would that work?
So I deal with this a lot in Florida, like a lot. Only because in the last few years, I never even looked at a mobile home before. I actually thought they were annoying. And with the cost of rentals going through the roof, we got out ahead of the curve and just bought as many mobile. Like I told him, I go, if you can buy it under 40 grand, buy it. Like, my only stipulation was they had to own the land underneath of it. So you have that one. So
I've heard you say that before.
So the mobile home is it just dirty or is it just shot?
It's a single wide 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's not shot, it's just older. So it would need a lot of work to bring it up to par.
So the neat thing about mobile homes is, now I'm speaking from the state of Florida because I haven't done one outside the state of Florida other than like a mobile home park, which I transacted on and then instantly sold. But the land is just how you do regular real estate. So I don't need to tell you how that works. Okay. The trailer is usually a DMV issue. So it's going to it would sell just like it sells a car. Okay.
Okay. Like registration and.
Yeah. No, it
like
actually,
titling.
yeah, it's, I got fined on this. So I've owned one for like 4 years and I got a letter from the DMV saying I didn't register it. And I'm just like, I had to pay back all these back. It wasn't a big deal, but I'm just like, I'm clueless. I didn't even know where to find the dang thing. So they're usually checking your state and see if that's it. Your bigger problem is the person that owned the mobile home has passed away. Now, the good news is most people buy mobile homes. They just pay cash for it. They don't care. Like most people buy mobile homes, unless you're going to make a stink to the state, they don't care. The only time that becomes an issue is when you have to do any type of permitting for like sewage, water lines and stuff like that. That can be a little bit problematic.
Okay.
So
it's already all hooked up. So
yeah. So What
It-
kind of price points you talking about there? I'm just
Well,
curious.
the piece of property is right on. It's called Murrell's Inlet. I live on the beach over here in Myrtle Beach. Murrell's Inlet. It's right on like an inlet. So the
Okay.
property is like $250,000, and the mobile home is like probably worth like 20,000, if that. So
Okay.
it may even just be a tear down. It probably is a tear down or haul off. I was just curious, like if the new buyers were to have to haul it off, like would they need the title for it to scrap it, or like just
They probably won't get much money for it other than scrap metal because you can't.
okay?
It's like if you have an old car and it's like abandoned.
Uh
I
huh.
have to deal with that a lot over by the lot I'm at. After X amount of days abandoned, a tower will pick it up. He's got to store it on the lot for like 60 or 90 days, and then they just crush it down for like once there's no
Okay.
owner. No, the liability is on like if you take the mobile home up and somebody shows up and go, "Hey, where's my mobile home?" I'll go, "Well, I took it and I sold it." I'm like, no, wait a minute. If you don't think there's a claim to it,
Yeah, there isn't. There
you
definitely
know what I'm
isn't.
saying? It's like, is it like how much? And so in the state of Florida, although the numbers have really increased, to replace a mobile home is like 65 grand. Like I look at my worst case scenario. If that, so I bought one that was 28 years old. I was like, oh, it looked terrible. And my guy goes, I can fix it up. I go, listen, I'll give you 3 grand to fix it up. After that, I'm just going to haul it out there and back a new one in. It's going to be cheaper because you got
Right.
50 grand to do it. So,
Better
uh,
off.
so have they discussed the cost of like what you can pick it up for? Like I get it. The mobile home's not worth a lot. It's the lot that's worth it. So is there
Right.
any room or motivation to give you a decent deal on that?
Well, I just got in contact with this seller today, and I told him I would. He actually agreed that he would meet me when he comes. He lives like an hour away, so he's going to meet
Yeah.
me there. He comes every so often to cut the grass. So
Yeah.
in about 2 weeks, I'm going to go meet him when he goes to cut the grass. The only clue he gave me as to price is that the assessor, the tax assessed value is 300,000. But I'm looking at comps, and the comps are like between 500,000 in that area, and that's just vacant land. That doesn't
Yeah.
include a house or anything.
So correct me if I'm wrong. You should have a high demand for like a property like that near the water, right?
There is, yeah,
So,
there is.
so just get the best deal you can. And the beauty about like private, like you got a lot of flexibility when to close it because you can say, listen, I got to research the trailer. You got a couple unknowns there, and you need to do as much work. And then the biggest risk you're going to run in this, Jason, is if you tell the wrong person about it before you have it under contract, you will be sniped by a very sharp builder. That property is the best to sell to a builder or someone who's wealthy that wants to build a dream house there.
Right, that's what it is.
And then I would take that trailer, I'd put it on Craigslist, and the first person that wrote you, like showed up with a wad of bills, just let them haul it out of there. Don't touch it. Someone will, if they can revamp that trailer, just let them deal with it. Like, who cares? Right?
Yeah, but I wouldn't be able to list it if I don't own it. If I'm assigning it, I can't list the trailer for whoever wants it to come get it.
If your seller's okay with it, you can do whatever you want. Like,
oh, okay. If the seller, yeah.
One of the other techniques you can do, if the guy will give you a dynamite price, if you want, like, I mean, like, say he gives it to you for like $150, like some crazy number. Just say, listen, I tell you what, I'll help you out too. I'll sell the trailer. Just, give it. I'll put the proceeds towards your deal.
Yeah.
If it's tighter, you need to take over the trailer. Your worst case scenario is somebody hooks it up and just hauls it away.
Right.
I wouldn't spend any effort on it because remember, you got to cap off the utilities and you got to be careful about it.
Yeah.
And you got to mark them in the ground, and then hopefully, I believe the utilities would be a little bit different setup. But dude, land deals, guys. When you got land deals, they're so clean. And this one will buy you enough time. If you had to find a buyer in 60 or 90 days, you have he's not living on the property. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
You need to enter into a simple agreement with him and then just run the title and so he's the individual owner.
He's the individual owner. Yeah. Yes, he is.
Okay. So just make sure they run title on it. And for anybody who's like, I don't want to do mobile homes, I'm telling you, let me give you an example. I bought a set of 4 mobile homes. I thought I overpaid for them, But the only reason I bought them is because Amazon opened up their distribution center next to it.
I heard you tell the story.
I kept getting blocked with traffic. I said, Zach, he goes, you're crazy. I go, I'm telling you, I see money. And we went and bought them. Each one of those trailers rents for $1,200 now. $1,200. So one I paid 10,
heard you
the
tell
other
that
paid I
story.
20,
That's
and
amazing.
one of them I paid up to 40. And like we're looking to pay off our entire investment in like a year and a half.
That
And then
is
it's
so
all
cool.
pure cash flow. So I was very shut down to it. I wasn't open to it. And then my aha moment was when I was sitting in traffic behind 60 prime trucks. Like, what the hell is over here? And Zach goes, it's the Amazon distribution center. I go, let's go. I know where 2 mobile home parks are right down the street. And we just went, dude, we went door to door. So like when I tell people like, I can't get deals, I can't do that. Guys, driving for dollars is extremely underrated. It works very well. And sometimes if you have to get a deal, just get in your car and go get it. I knew once word got on the street, and by the way, half the sellers already knew what the value of their mobile homes are. The other didn't. And I just moved with record speed. And by the way, I should have bought 25 of them. I only bought 4 of them. I just wasn't thinking bigger. And I want you to learn with it. Dude, land,
At
dude,
least you got the 4.
yeah, it's a golden opportunity. I love like land like that. That's like primo stuff, man.
Yeah, it's in a great location too.
And he probably owns it outright too.
He does. He grew up in the house. Yep.
So one of the other ideas you can do too, so just a little more advanced strategy, but sometimes like crazy stuff, like you look at your own investments, like, okay, if I own this piece of land and I sat on it like for 5 years, or maybe I partnered up with a builder, you could then I go, listen, here's the deal. You build the house. I get 5% of the proceed. I get 5% of the final sales price of the house. Plus,
yeah, you go ahead.
Plus you sell them the land for like 50 or 100 grand more than you paid for it. Like it's unlimited. So, hey, how do I do that? You could structure an owner financing with the deal because most people in land like that, they own it outright.
Right.
And you go, listen.
And it's an acre, which is a pretty good size.
And you can say, hey, Mr. Seller, I have some money coming to me from some other properties. If you could just give me seller financing for 12 to 18 months or 2 years and come up with like a small downstroke, dude, your options are unlimited what you can do with that property. You can find the highest and best use for it and go, well, Rick, well, if I have to give him 20 or 30 grand, dude, it's not your money. Like go get it from somebody else. And who cares if he charges 10, 12, 15%?
Right.
If that property sells at like $1.5 million with an incredible house built on it, you'll have to do your research on it. And you got a big piece of that and the profit spread. You could potentially make hundreds of thousands of dollars. But once again, that's the beauty of wholesaling is you customize it to your situation. If you're struggling to pay your rent and there's no food in your fridge, get rid of it as fast as you can and get your family right. If you have the luxury, like look at some of your other investments and go, because those properties, they are so far and few between. Let me give an example. I had the chance to buy the property next door to me. So I'm in a marina-based community. And I was too shallow. So the guy asked 950 grand for it. Just like, I was like, man, you're like, how do you come up with that number? Well, the dang thing just sold for $4 million. It took 2 years to do, but $4 million. And I didn't have the work. I like, how am I going to come up? Like, I don't want to spend 900 grand on my own. Like, it wasn't my own money. And he was willing to cut a deal with it. It was going to be taxing on how to take it down. So now I've reassessed on how I can take properties down. And now I'm prepared because I'm doing a big transaction just down the road. And I'm like, it's 5 times the price. I'm like, okay, I see the handwriting on the wall. So I minimize my risk, but what you love about this business is you can cater it to your own deal. If you need money right away, you know what to do with it. You know, short-term money, and then like a long-term play. If you could participate with a builder, have him front you like 50 grand, you take 30 grand and give it to your seller and then create a note. He has to pay on it, not you. You take a $20,000 and put it in your pocket so you can keep your marketing rolling. And then you got a first lien position on the property and he sells it in 2 years for like $2-3 million. And you just have an agreement.
That would be awesome.
But you don't do any work. Like that's the beauty. And this is how you guys have to think about real estate. There's so many plays you can do with it. It's endless. Give you an example. I bought back in early 08, 09, I bought a property on the water, 10,000 square feet. It had a $3 million mortgage. I bought it for 300 grand. And I did not have the wherewithal to wear it out because I couldn't, the bills kept mounting on it. Well, that property, 300 grand, it sold for 20 times the price 5 years later. And I took $100,000 payoff, and that guy made 10 times the return on me. So,
well, hindsight is 2020. It's always 2020.
Yeah, I know. So just find out, get it under contract, meet with him, and then you need to do a ton of intel. You don't need to overanalyze, but like see what a new house is going per square foot in that area, the type of houses they're building.
A lot.
And look at those builders, and do not talk to a builder or anyone until you have an agreement in place.
Yeah, I learned that lesson already. I learned that lesson already.
Yeah, so we went over that with one. So guys, so you know, Jason comes on here on like a weekly basis, and he's very humble. He takes advice, and he's made some mistakes, and he learns going forward. You're never going to do this business without making mistakes. Yeah, I was talking to Joel before. He's like, you're so concerned about, not Joel specifically, but if you're concerned about making a mistake, don't do wholesaling because you're going to fail somewhat at it. But you fail forward and keep making progress, and you learn. That's how life works, dude. Like, think about any skill set you have, Jason. Did it just come naturally? Like, if you played baseball or football or anything like that, it's like, I'm terrible to go fishing with. Like, I enjoy family and friends, but like, I have some older guys in my marina, and they're like, Rick, you always come back with big dolphin, tuna. You catch all the sailfish in the world. Like, we've gone on 10 trips. Like, we have nothing but sharks. So I made the mistake of riding with them this previous Monday. And it was one of those pain. Like, I was like, man, you guys are doing everything wrong. They go, well, Rick, we do exactly what you do. I go, no, you don't. You're missing the last 10%. And that 10% is the difference between catching fish and not. And it's the same thing in wholesaling. It's just, you figured out that deal. You got a little conservative. Somebody beat you to the punch. But I promise you, you'll never make that mistake, Jason.
No, I won't.
That skill set, remember, you failed at it, but that failure will make you the most amount of money in the long term. And that's how it works. If everything was gravy, you just throw contracts on everything. I thought I was king of wholesaling in 2006. Literally, I was making so much money. I don't need to tell you guys what happened. I got caught with 12 properties, and the rug got pulled out from underneath me. And I got humbled real quick. I had to start over. And that's how I started flipping short sales. And then I always wholesaled, but man, it was like I was begging buyers to buy it. And I learned that you have to prepare for winter. Even when you're having the fruits of summer and spring, you have to prepare for it. So
yeah, absolutely.
You're on the right path. Just think really big with this property and just work with your seller. You will probably have a more advanced seller that's had that property for a while. So he's not going to be a fool. So just, you got to kind of get in his head, Jason, and see where he's thinking. So you already have the assessed value, and then just, and just find out what he thinks the property's worth. So I always tell people, you want to know what your seller's thinking, just go to Zillow, other than vacant land. That's a lot more challenging.
Yeah, it's not listed on Zillow.
So just build amazing rapport with them, and it might take more than one conversation. And people like, do you like land? I go, I love land because it's easier. It just, you don't have tenants on it. You don't have like a bunch of liens on it, crazy stuff. It's just really easy to move, and you have a huge flexibility, and you don't have to worry about dragging your buyers through it. Right? You don't.
Right.
You never have to deal with that objection ever. And so the only problem I've ever had with vacant land here in Central Florida, more than South Florida, that we have this thing called gopher tortoises. And if they're on the property,
they're protected.
Yeah. So then you have to have them professionally relocated. And they charge you per turtle. It's like an obscene amount of money. I'm just like,
oh my God.
Like, Zach, throw the turtle in the back of the truck. And like, I don't do that anymore, because if you get caught, it's like a $25,000 fine and you go to jail.
Oh my God.
Because like you and me would say, just throw the turtle back in the truck. We'll put a soft blanket. I'll hold them.
Bring it to the woods or somewhere. Yeah.
But if you get caught, you actually go to jail, and you get a $25,000 lien imposed on you by the federal government. So I'm like,
oh my gosh.
So
they don't have the turtles are protected here, but not like that. Man.
So what investors and like I've seen realtors do it, like they chase the turtle away, like go away. And these turtles are like really slow, but like that's like when you see the turtles, they're like, that's the first people. Are there any gopher tortoises? Or like, I don't think so. But they build these big holes, and they actually they beat up the land, but they're slow. They're kind of like manatees. Like, guys,
Yeah.
I love animals. Like, I love animals, but
Me too.
manatees are just not designed for modern day the way we run human lives. It's between the pollution, everything. Like, I'm not getting in the whole wildlife thing, but it's like sometimes evolution has it. That's why the dinosaurs didn't make it. You know, it's like, I don't even know how they did. You know, they talk about like this big combustion fire, but then you got like crocodiles and like strange fish that still look like old reptilians, and they survive.
Like dinosaurs, right?
Exactly. So,
But
okay,
yeah,
bud.
Rick. Anyways, I'll be happy to. I mean, honestly, I think I'm just gonna sign this one. But I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
I mean,
jump the gun. I don't even know if I'll
well,
get it.
see what the seller dictates you can do, and I think, but like I tell you, like on this side of Florida, like there's any type of waterfront property. We typically would have bought them for like in the $300,000 range, a lot like, and now they're all going for $1 million in 2 years.
Wow.
And that's why I'm just telling you, look at the potential.
It
Because
may be like that here.
if
Yeah.
nothing's left, I promise you can get someone to financially support you to get through it. Yes, it's going to cost money, but the end game is incredible. If you get somebody else to fund it, great. If not, like, look around, but you got to back the numbers up with it. So let me know how it works out. Anything else going on?
Nope, that's it right now. Just doing cold calling. So, but Rick, I appreciate your time. Thanks again, man.
No, you got it, bud. Okay, update me. Let me know as soon as you get a deal with it. Okay.
I will do. Have a good night, Rick.
Okay,
Thanks
bud.
again.
See ya. Later. Okay, guys, I'm out of people, so let's. If you want to hop on, I'm on for the next, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. I'll answer questions. I don't care. I said, Joel, you hopped on here and you hopped off. So I'm calling people to the plate here. So I'm looking at some of the questions there are funny. Snakes in the grass. Sandra, the link is in the top of the comments. It's pinned to the top. And if you go to Wholesaling Houses for Real, there is a link at the top on, you got to make sure you're part of our Wholesaling Houses for Real. Let me send you a link. And then it's pinned on the instructions top. And then obviously, guys, if you hadn't had a chance, please subscribe. Now I'm going to tell you what. Somebody gave me an angry face. It's the first time I've had one here, and I'm okay with it. But I would love to find out why you're angry. You're just having a bad day, or maybe you're a guru. If you're a guru, I understand. I'm probably not good for you. And by the way, I'm not here to make everybody happy. Just you guys that want to figure out wholesaling and get the truth about it. Joel, you can put it. Shoot. So I'm not a technology guy, Joel. If you send a message, I'll figure it out. I guess you can try to private message me, but dude, I get buried in messages, guys. I love you guys to death, and that's why I come on for 2 hours to answer as many questions as I possibly can. If I don't respond to like emails, stuff like it, just understanding on like it's like I looked the other day, there's like 700, and it's not like I don't, but if I do that, it's a full-time job for me, and I'm literally donating my time here. So that's why we do so many lives, so many videos to help you out as much as possible. So somebody asked a question on here. I'm going to roll through it. They ask, hey, Rick, don't you have a course? Now we have freewholesaling.com. Somebody asked about a probate course. I have to keep going over this with you guys. Okay. I have a probate course out there. Priority probate system. I made it 2014, 15. I originally did it in 2012, 13, and I updated it. I sold the rights to it. Okay. It's great content. It's purely instructional. It's just video modules to train you through it. I don't own it. I don't receive a dime for it. It's a really good product, but a lot of people are messaging me for support on it, like refunds and stuff like that. Guys, it's a one-time buy product. I think it's $190. I don't get the money from it. You don't technically need it. If you want it, buy it, but please do not message me a support on it. I have to honor an agreement, and until it expires, and I'll let you know when it is, then I can pull that information and put it back in freewholesaling.com. So it, they'd be like, oh, you're selling it. I'm not, guys. Like I sold information at one time. I never sold like huge monster courses like that. And you guys know my story. I got out in 2013 out of the coaching, 2013, 14, because the coaching just got ridiculous. And I mean, it is absolutely crazy right now what people are charging for some of this stuff. So what's up, Christina? I am glad you're here. That is awesome. So Salon asks, hey, Rick, how do I build a higher ARV buyers list? Would it be too much trouble to ask for its worth? So ARV stands for actual, I call it retail value. Some people call it rehab value. If you want to build a higher ARV list, the best thing you can do is vet your buyers. Meaning if you have a form and they fill it out and you don't call them and ask for a proof of funds and ask basic questions of areas they're willing to buy and how much they're willing to pay for, you don't have a cash buyer. You're wasting your time. Actually, most people on that list, if you don't vet them, it's just your competition and other wholesalers. So I would start by vetting them. So no problem. Johnny says it was listed on the Scroller and Zach's live last night. You're probably talking about, we don't have that one in the Scroller because we're not allowed to by law. But we have the freewholesaling.com, which you guys see on there. And if you guys want to deep dive into learn how to do direct mail, I give 20 years experience. I unload it. There is no cost to this. There's no credit card. You just put in your email. I promise you guys, I'm not going to sell you courses. There's enough people out there to sell you. And guys, if you're being asked to get on a exploratory call or like, let's have a one-on-one and see if you qualify. Here's the qualifier. You ready? The qualifier is, do you have a credit card? And if you don't have a credit card, they're going to give you a payment plan. I'm not going to even tell you to run. You make the choices of what you want to do. Like if you have to have a salesperson talk you into a wholesaling course that I actually offer for free, that I've done for 20 years, knock yourself out. Okay. Anybody who tells you, well, you don't have skin in the game. Listen, you have two ways to have input in the wholesaling community. Number one, it's your money. You guys know how that works. You want to buy a $5,000 or $10,000 course just to learn wholesaling? Knock yourself out, guys. There's no secret. There's no secret technique. Most of these people at one point have learned it from me. I learned it from somebody else. I don't take full credit for learning wholesaling. I've just made it the best I possibly can. Number two is your time. You have just, if you've spent 10 minutes with me on this 2 hours, I thank you. And you need to vote with your time. Who you subscribe with, whose comments you like, and who you want to spend the most time with. That should dictate who you do it. You want to look for people that are authentic, that are real, and actually do this business and are not, I'm just going to say it. If you have thousands of people you're coaching, how much time can they dedicate to doing wholesaling and coaching at the same time? I just choose, I do not trade my time for money. So I want to make quality time here. I spend a couple hours a week with you guys. I really, really enjoy it. I'm not going anywhere. This community, I'm going to guarantee this. This will be the biggest community in wholesaling, bottom line. So we pretty much on the fastest growth. And here's the secret, guys. We don't spend one dime on advertising. So when you see all these gurus scrolling across your screen, when you go on my YouTube thing they're paying for it. They're trying to get your attention. Their only goal is to get in the back of your pocketbook. And if you want to do it, then do it. Guys, vote with your dollars, vote with your time. Both are precious. Money you can get back, time you can't. So make sure it counts. So, okay, I got a few more questions here. Nandy states, hey, Rick, with probates, does it matter if the probate is done right? I just need to speak with the PR, which is the personal representative. Well, obviously, a probate is going to be done in a court of law with a lawyer. So they only have one choice, is to do it right. Otherwise, it gets rejected by the judge. Yes, the PR is the person who's controlling, is the quarterback. The main thing you want to communicate to them is you do not have to wait till the probate is completed for me to buy your house. Ask me how. And I go into detail on this. A probate is just a process. the house is usually very draining on the estate. And if the lawyer makes a motion to the judge to sell the asset and they have an agreed upon contract, then as long as they have the right signers for it, it's perfectly normal. I do it all the time, guys. Let's see here. So E says, hey, Rick, how should a newbie set goals that would drive you but not be too unrealistic? Zero for little budget. So number one, you should first deep dive into freewholesaling.com. You should probably go through it like 9 or 10 times. You think I'm kidding when I say that? I'm dead serious. Okay. You assume you invested $10,000 in me and you got to make it work, because I'm giving you the value there. It's definitely there. Okay. Nobody can outperform me and Zach in value. Why? Because I'm not taking anything other than your time. And in return, you're going to go out and find deals. I'm going to unload all the secrets on you, because there are no secrets, and you'll get it. As far as setting goals, go out and get a deal. Like, bottom line, go out and get a deal and set you got to do it this year. And if you beat it, then you got to go get 3 more deals and go from there. Like, don't overthink it. Like, listen, guys, I like goals too and stuff like that. But if you spend all your time on goals and you're constantly readjusting them, they're more of a wish list. So your goal is to get a deal in 2022. Start that one and then define a plan, how you're going to market to them. So you don't have a lot of budget. So I'm telling you, driving for dollars is right up your valley. You want to do that. And then you want to go out and do, I would do pre-foreclosures, because you can pull them for free from your courthouse. And then I would do reverse driving for dollars method, which is basically putting sticky notes on them to make your time efficient. And I would start out doing that. Go through freewholesaling.com. We go through the whole thing. So Julio says, I appreciate your honesty. You know, the weird thing is, it's the only way I know. Like we were talking to Joel earlier about how we were raised and how we function. Dude, being authentic is the only, you know why? Because I don't have to sit here and think about what I'm going to say next, because it's the truth. And I find if more people be honest, life is a lot easier. I cannot stand fake people trying to sell everybody everything. And the fact is, some of them actually know what they're doing, but a good part of them don't know anything they're doing. And that's why they're asking for big ticket numbers from you, because once they take your money, they're out of the game. They don't care. They'll offer you a lifetime membership. Guys, a lifetime membership, I learned this long time ago. It's one of the oldest sales tactics in the book. Nobody can truly offer a lifetime. It just, you would have to be a huge corporation to do that. If they close shop tomorrow, what are you going to do? Sue them? Like, you can't do it. So, Joel, dude, I was on here 2 hours. I saw you pop on and off. So send me a private message. I'll see if I can help you out. And guys, that's it. I'll be on tomorrow. Me and Zach, we're going to do another mastermind. I got to see what the topic is. I don't even know what it's offhand. Zach loves to surprise me. Guys, tune in tomorrow, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We're going to do the one-on-ones, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it. So you guys know how we work with Zach. We're real. We like to argue about stuff in a good way, and the goal is to help as many people out as possible here. Guys, give me a couple likes before we hang up here. I got like a sad face. I guess someone's mad at me. I think we pissed the guru off. So it is what it is. And guys, I appreciate everything. You have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Me and Zach, Flip with Rick. Tune in right here. I'll see you guys then. Have an awesome one, and I appreciate